Okay, so this week, Denmark announced $2 billion military budget in what appeared to be an emergency addition to its military spending after Trump ruled out using military or economic force to take Greenland. Yes, you heard it right. The man who wanted to buy Greenland in 2019 is now keeping all his options open. In response, Denmark's Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen went on a whirlwind trip to Europe. She met French President Macron, German Chancellor Scholz, and NATO leader Rutte. Oh, and apparently France has discussed sending troops to Greenland because nothing says peaceful resolution like boots on ice, you know. In this video, we'll talk about how Denmark is taking on America head on, as France and Germany have stepped up to help their NATO ally. This week started with some fiery pushback by Denmark. Foreign Minister Rasmussen told BBC that Trump would not have Greenland. BBC's reporter asked him if Trump would need to invade Greenland to have it. These are the questions you can expect from a BBC journalist. He basically replied that he wasn't able to give step-by-step guide to Trump on how to steal a country. These are pretty hard words to come out from a foreign minister's end towards the President of America. Now there are talks of European troops in Greenland. European Union's top military officials said that troops from Europe could be deployed in Greenland. He said, I quote, "In my view, it would make perfect sense not only to station US forces in Greenland, as it is currently the case, but also to consider stationing Europe's troops." This came from Robert Driver, chairman of European Union's military committee. He actually told this to a German newspaper, Welt. Well, nothing like a good old military build-up so that everyone stays calm, right? Because one thing Greenland really needs right now is that who can park more tanks on ice, right? France's Foreign Minister Barrot did not rule out French troops in Greenland. Yes, you heard it right. He casually said, why not, since it is a matter of security, I quote. He said if Denmark calls for help, France will be there. He declared this with dramatic intensity of a war movie. He then gave a warning which seemed to me like a veiled threat to America. He said European borders are sovereign and no one should mess around with it. So where is this new aggression from Europe coming from? That too, against their own NATO ally. Now let's come back to the Denmark Prime Minister's Europe trip. This week, Frederiksen met the German Chancellor Scholz. Officially, they discussed Ukraine and hybrid attacks from Russia in the Baltic Sea. But let's be honest, her emergency European grand tour was screaming help. Scholz emphasized that respecting borders was not expected just from Russia, but from everyone. When he said everyone, he meant United States. Yes, Scholz is now lecturing United States that they should respect borders. In fact, it made it look like Scholz was comparing America with Russia and Trump with Putin. As ridiculous as it might sound. And then in an incredibly subtle move, he said, to whomsoever it may concern. So Scholz was trying to be a macho guy, but at the end, he kind of mellowed down. Was he scared of Trump? Okay, next stop. The Danish Prime Minister then went to Paris and met French President Macron. In Paris, she claimed that all European countries have given full backing to her against America, and they all are with Denmark in the issue of Greenland. She said, I quote, there was a very, very clear message that was, of course, there must be respect for territory and sovereignty. This is crucial for the international community we have built together since World War II. Yes, because if there's one thing we have learned, it's like the world leaders are so good at respecting borders, right? Unless, of course, they see strategic advantage. Then it's all finders keepers. Her next stop was Brussels, where she met NATO leader Mark Rutte. Surprisingly, she insisted that US remains Denmark's closest ally. Yes, after saying all these things, she finally says that US is still the closest ally of Denmark. But when asked about relationship between Europe and Trump, she said, I quote, I think everyone in Europe can see that it will be different collaboration now. Translation? We have absolutely no idea what Trump's gonna do, but we are pretending like we know what he will do. She and Mark Rutte agreed that they both need to spend more in their defenses in Arctic. Against whom? Russia or America? Because clearly Greenland is the now new hot real estate that everybody wants to invest in. Meanwhile, what do the Greenlanders say? Well, Greenland's Prime Minister says that Greenland is for Greenlandic people. We do not want to be Danish. Yes, he actually said that. We do not want to be American. Yes, he also said that. We want to be Greenlandic. This was a clear-cut statement by Greenland's Prime Minister, Ejide. He said, I quote, we have a desire for independence, a desire to be the master of our own house. This is something everyone should respect. So there you have it, Denmark versus Trump, the battle for Greenland. Who knew that 21st century would bring us to a point where there would be a tug of war for Greenland? Two NATO allies fighting with each other? This is unimaginable. While we could still see all of this as mere posturing from Macron and Scholz, sending European troops in Greenland would certainly be a signal to United States that Trump will not find it easy to take Greenland, because even if he takes over Greenland using his military power, will he actually fight with Europeans, their NATO ally? And Trump has said it many times that he wants to get out of NATO. So if Trump gets out of NATO, then what happens to the security architecture in Europe? We are living in strange times. This is Girish signing off from the Macro Story. Do like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'll keep posting more videos. Stay tuned.